All right, people, today we're going to do something completely different on YouTube today. Today's video is going to be finishing up the hockey series. Woo! Yeah! I know that's a lot of energy, but got to do it. Today's episode is going to be the Detroit Red Wings versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, these are two different hockey teams of greatness. Both are superpower teams. Both are franchise teams. Now, let's start with the Detroit Red Wings. Now, the Detroit Red Wings was founded in 1926 in the Warring 20s. And during the time of General Motors, they had the cars, they had the trucks, the engines, the car mechanics. Detroit was the place to go to once upon a time. It was the city of hope. You went there and you could get a job at General Motors, in the factories in the 1920s, doing that, depression, the Great Depression, as they call it. And of course, we got to the best part, sports. Now, it is hard to do what this franchise owner has done. Now, I don't know his name, but you see them on television a lot of times. This guy owns not one team, not two. This guy owns 3 teams. He's the owner of the NBA basketball team, the Detroit Pistons, that have won 3 NBA championships in that franchise. He is the franchise owner of the football team, the Detroit Lions, that have won 4 Super Bowl championships. And he is also the owner of the Detroit Red Wings hockey team. Now, he's more recognizable when it comes to hockey and basketball than it is football. And he's not the only one that's the owner. There's like him and maybe 2 other guys that are the owners of these 3 teams. Now, they have won a total of 11 championships. They won a total of 11 Stanley World Cups. They're very competitive. They're bigger. They're stronger. They're faster. They have a strong core. And they have won these 11 championships throughout the course of a 20 to 25, maybe a 30-year period. All throughout the decades, they have won championships. It started in the late 20s, early 30s, mid 40s to 50s, some in the 60s. They had a slump in the 70s and the 80s, and they picked right back up in the 90s and the 2000s. So they've won a total of 11 championships, and they've gone to the Stanley World Cup, the hockey finals, like a total of almost 15, 16 times. So they won 11 championships out of 16 times that they've gone to the championship. And I'm not making this up. You can go to the Wikipedia. They've won 11 championships, but how many attempts did they go? They made like damn near 20 attempts, and they got 11 out of that many attempts to win that many titles. The team is very good. I mean, I've seen them play on TV. In fact, there's one thing in sports history that stands out most to me. The same year that they won a championship was the same year the men's basketball team, the Detroit Pistons, won a title. 2004, when they won back-to-back championships, the Detroit Red Wings, they won back-to-back titles in 2004 or in 2005. I'll have to check my sources. I know someone will come in the comment section and correct me and say that the year's wrong, but I do remember there was a period where they won back-to-back championships, and the Detroit Pistons went back to the finals in 2005 against the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. And I remember that series because hockey was on and basketball was on at the same exact time. And the owner was there saying in 2004, my franchise won a title in basketball. We're going to try to do it again in hockey. Now they did ask about football, and he said, when the time comes. So this team, and it's hard to do what this franchise owner has done, or franchise owners. It's hard to have 3 teams: basketball, football, and hockey. Now he has 4 because there's baseball. So he actually has 4 teams, but it's hard to get 3 of those teams to all win championships. And then they have 2 teams that you're an owner of, basketball and hockey, to be on TV at the same exact time and win championships at the same exact time. You know how complicated that is? You know how insane of a mad genius you have to be to pull that off? To have the staff, the personnel to do that? That's amazing. There are only a few teams in history that has ever done that. You know, you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, and when the Spurs, not the Spurs, but the Lakers and the LA Sparks, when they won back-to-back championships the same exact year. And then you look at the LA Kings, when the LA Kings won a title. But they didn't. But the LA Kings is funny. They won a title the same time Miami won a title. So that that shit is funny. On the other hand, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, this is gonna make you laugh your ass off. Their colors is the same colors as the Pittsburgh Steelers. I swear to God, the Pittsburgh Penguin colors, that's black and gold, is the same colors as the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, sometimes it's black and orange, sometimes it's black and gold, but those are the same colors. And if I'm a betting man in Las Vegas, I would probably have to guarantee that the owner who owns the football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, also owns the baseball team and also owns the hockey team. Once again, it is very hard to have 4 teams and you're a franchise owner and they all win championships in a time period of each other. Now, you've heard stories of athletes playing 2 sports at the same time, but you've never heard, it's rare that you get an owner that owns 3 teams or 4 teams and they all win championships in the same time frame. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins have won 5 championships. They won 5 Stanley World Cups. They've gone to the finals probably a total of 10 to 11 times and won 5 championships out of the 10 or 11 times they went to the Stanley World Cup. Now, they kind of came like in that late 60s, late 1970s period, and throughout the decades, they've won championships. Now, they're very competitive. This team is well known in hockey. These are the team that if you're not careful, they'll sneak up on you and they'll beat you at your own strategy. This is a team that's a force to be reckoned with. Now, the hockey season's coming up. Anytime the basketball season comes up, hockey comes up. Both sports are connected to each other. Both sports have its allegiance of fans. And this is a team that will decimate any other hockey team in the world. In fact, they take some of the best players out of the 31 teams in hockey and they put them on the USA Hockey Olympic team. And then they compete against, Russia, Germany, the hockey teams from foreign countries. And well, this team is very competitive. Now we come down to the question, which hockey team is better? Now, by 2 or 3 land hairs, I'm going to say it's the Detroit Red Wings. Because they've won more championships, because they have more experience, they've won more. And it seems like I guarantee in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 more years, Detroit Red Wings will win another Stanley World Cup. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they've had their share of injuries. They have fired and hired coaches. They have traded players. They have cut players. They have waived players. Every team, every organization has done it. But they're in rebuilding phase. Back when I was a little kid, I used to hear the names Detroit Red Wings all the time. Pittsburgh Penguins. I used to hear these names all the time when I was in junior high and high school. And when I got to college, I didn't hear those names no more. All I heard was the LA Kings. All I heard was the Anaheim Ducks. All I heard was, the Canadian hockey team, which I'm going to talk about in a later video. And then I'm also going to make this interesting because I'm going to do player versus player. So that way it don't sound like it's boring, 2 or 3 of these videos, and then it's back to the original content. So until then, peace.